We got a real problem with the fact that this Epstein mess has been handled in such clumsy fashion, it just won't go away. And now the Islamic State of Great Britain, under the leadership of that goofball lefty Keir Starmer, they have managed to arrest a former prince. The guy lost his princedom because all the goofy bad stuff that he did associated with Epstein. They arrested this guy on his birthday. Personally, I think that's glorious. Obviously, these charges are not related to the perversion. That's what started his downfall. They wanted to get him on something. They don't have the evidence that they could arrest him for on the perversion stuff because Pam Bondi's sitting on it. Unfortunately, when all this fiasco blew up, the Democrats started trying to pin Trump to it. They tried to say Trump was some kind of pervert. I don't believe that. There hasn't been any evidence of it. If there was any kind of evidence at all, the Democrats would have already leaked it. They'd have found a way to get it. There's still insiders that are tied to the Democrat Party that are inside our intelligence agencies. We know they haven't got them all cleaned out. This isn't about Trump being an Epstein client doing bad things to young, innocent girls. But they tried to spin it into that. So now Trump is trying to use the defense. Well, that's just a Democrat thing. Nobody else cares about it. That's not true. We know you are innocent, Trump, but we know there's a lot of people who aren't. Stop protecting them. This is a midterm election year. No Trump supporter wants any kind of black stain on this administration. No Trump supporter wants to feel divided from Trump on any issue right now. He's done so many great things, but this Epstein mess has been a total disaster. Bondi's handling of it has been a total disaster, along with all of her other disasters, from our Timu Barbie, blank stare Bondi, incompetent AG. Nobody likes her, and this isn't helping. Whoever's advising Trump on this whole Epstein thing, I think a lot of it comes from him because unfortunately, this is something they don't say that you and I say. All Trump supporters are saying, we know that elites in America are getting special treatment and we don't like it. We all know that there is purported to be a black book all along. This is common knowledge. A lot of people in Congress had said that they'd seen the black book. Bondi had buried the black book. Even though Bondi called some journalists, content creators, handpicked people to the White House to make it look like she was going to release all of the info just to kick it all off. Nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. And the administration goes from, we're going to release everything, to, no, we're not going to release. We already released it. Oh, it's child porn. We can't release that. This has been a disgusting trail of blunders, and nobody wants this. Mr. President, you are not reading the room. This is an important election year. We need to be unified and inspired. And when people see this Epstein thing, when people see all of the elitists getting special treatment, that's not inspirational. I don't know anybody that is happy about this. I don't know anybody that believes there's no black book. I don't know anybody that believes that no elite did anything wrong at Epstein Island. I don't know anybody that believes our DOJ could not charge an awful lot of people, an awful lot of higher ups, whatever you want to call them, elitists, whether in government or industry. We know they're both involved. And this is just out of control. It's a black stain on the administration that nobody wants. In spite of everything good that has happened, this is an ugly black stain that shouldn't exist in any administration. To put it bluntly, Americans, the good people of America, want to see perverts prosecuted. Pam Bondi's been on air how many times talking about child trafficking? We're arresting sexual predators. We're arresting all these people we never heard of with all these other cases. And the biggest one in the history of the world is going untouched. This administration is looking the other way at those criminal perverts of the worst kind. There are some awful things. I'm not going to repeat them here because I still haven't seen absolute confirmation myself. But there's some pretty ugly rumors going around. And some of it is coming from people in Congress who have actually read these files. Representative Lauren Boebert, she's talking about it. A couple of the guys, Congress, they're talking about it. And this is satanic, demonic stuff. This needs to be cleared up. The administration won't even address it. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need this out in full public view. We need it discussed. You know, people that get charged with any kind of child sex crime, even one offense, they get put on a registry. They stay on that registry for life. They have to go in and report. That's because they're just peons. I guess they're not in the royal class of Americans. And it's not just Americans that are in this list either. Maybe that's what Trump is afraid of. I don't care what he's afraid of. If it would blow up the government, the U.S. government, if it would blow up international governments, then they need to be blown up. We can't have these kind of people in charge of the world. We can't have these people in charge of business and industry in America. There is no excuse that covers up for these people. There is no excuse that makes them too big to jail. That is what Americans are sick of. Too big to jail. We're seeing too much of it in too many instances. We're seeing too many elites get special treatment. That's not a founding principle of America. Equal justice under the law. Justice is blind. Remember? Under this administration, it's just blind to crime from high-placed people. The upper echelons of society who are the scum of the earth. You know, it's pretty interesting. One of the key traits, one of the only traits that can be shared by the lowest street druggie and the highest elite, the only trait they can both share equally in is debauchery. Isn't that something? That seems to be the unifying factor, except on one end, people get punished for it. Justice is applied. On the other end, justice is blind. It doesn't see them. That's not what justice is blind is supposed to mean. It means everyone is equal under the law. Bondi keeps saying it. Everyone is equal under the law. No, they aren't, Pam. Not on your watch. But I know you are taking orders. Trump himself has tried to cover this up at least 3 times. Clear back in June of last year, Trump had one of his televised cabinet meetings. It's another great thing. I mean, it's right out in the open. The man makes himself available to press. But one of the reporters threw Bondi a question about the Epstein files. Trump jumped in, cut it off, and covered for Bondi so she would have time to think of her response. And he said, what, you're still talking about that? That's all done. Nobody cares about that. Trump, you knew at the time when you said that, we do care about it. Nobody's quit caring about it. We care more now than then because the cover-up draws attention to it. In case you didn't see it at the time, here is the actual video from last June of Trump trying to cover it up. Trying to put it all to rest and make it all go away. Now look at all the things that have been released since the time this was recorded.
Also during that cabinet meeting, questions about disgraced late financier Jeffrey Epstein. The fresh scrutiny comes after a new report out of the DOJ and the FBI that found that Epstein had, quote, no client list or any evidence that he blackmailed prominent figures. Listen to the president shut down a reporter when attempting to ask Attorney General Pam Bondi about that memo.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Now, eventually, AG Bondi did answer that question, even taking the time to clarify an interview she did on Fox News back in February, where she seemingly implied that the, quote, client list was sitting right on her desk. Take a listen to that.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
Now, the FBI and the DOJ concluded that Epstein died by suicide while in custody back in August of 2019. They say he had more than 1,000 victims that suffered, quote, unique trauma. They add that after examining all the evidence in the government's possession, no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted.
And poor Marco Rubio sitting in the middle of that, looking around like, oh, God, why do I have to be here right now for this junk? Trump, why are you marring your own legacy with this? This is going to haunt you forever. This is always going to stay with you. You have got to fix this. Americans want it fixed. Your supporters want this fixed. We don't want to have to say these things. The discussions in social media among your own supporters are adamantly opposed to the handling of this. We don't like it. This has got to be fixed. Thank God Britain found a way to charge somebody that Pam Bondi is protecting with the covered up evidence. America wants answers, Trump. This has got to be brought out to the light of day. We need to feel like there's no cover up going on, because the cover up that's going on now is as historic as the extent of the crimes that were committed. This has got to stop. Fix it. America, you keep demanding it. Demand that this be fixed. Demand justice. These girls, these victims, are still alive, except for the girl that is unalived now, purportedly at her own hands, when we all know that that isn't what happened. As a matter of fact, Epstein himself did not do anything to himself. I don't care what Cash Patel and Bongino were ordered to go out and say. Everything about this stinks. There's a major cover-up going on. It's got to end. We want perverts charged. We want justice for these girls who are still alive and are going to deal with the PTSD of this abuse all of their lives. They lost part of their childhood. They've lost part of their souls. The least we can do is the right thing. The right thing is apply the law equally to everyone. These elitists have to be charged. I don't care what the repercussions are. So be it. Let the chips fall where they may. Let's be honest here with what we all know. The shutdown of Epstein Island did not cure these perverts. These guys didn't stop what they're doing. They're just doing it somewhere else now. These crimes are still being committed somewhere else. There's other victims right now somewhere else because these people are still running loose. They do not get fixed. They don't get fixed by treatment. They sure as hell aren't getting fixed by being ignored. This is an election year. It's going to damage voter turnout. The people continue to get more and more disillusioned and upset with the fact that we know there's a royal class of people that are above the law. Americans have to demand this. We've got to get this right, my friends. And if we do, maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thanks for listening.